air, water, earth, fire. For hundreds of years, the four nations have lived in harmony. The Avatar, master of all four elements, was always responsible for maintaining the peace. But Avatar Rohu passed away 13 years ago. Now, the four nations look to the air nomads to reveal the next Avatar, but the world is met with silence. Rumors from the Earth Kingdom abound that the Fire Nation is planning an aggressive move into the Earth Kingdom. 5 young heroes were too late to save the Southern Air Temple, but they hold vital information that could save the Earth Kingdom and maybe even save the world. Previously on the Flying Bison podcast.
He's like in full artiste mode.
So I think Che's sort of digging the trenches. Ren is going to go find some material to make some Fire Nation flags and maybe some Fire Nation uniforms. Oh man, God, you guys are here.
Ren and I just got some stuff from Casa.
You also notice she's wearing, she's got like a war fan on her side. You notice that your flute is missing. There's this blast of air and this giant rocket just crashed through the door.
You said we were friends. Friends don't steal from their friends. I think she needs some help. I think that maybe she could use some help from you.
When we get through this tomorrow, are you sure you want to go into the swamp?
I haven't really thought about it.
So when we do arrive in Bossing Say eventually, would you like to try to go see Mom?
Hello everyone, welcome to this week's episode of the Flying Bison podcast. I am the GM and storyteller, Justin. And at some point, we'll probably stop introducing ourselves. But for now, let's keep introducing ourselves. Who do we have playing today?
I'm Monroe, and I play Liko.
I'm Johnny, and I play Osa.
I'm Steve, and I play Rensong.
I'm Danny, and I play Rosa.
I'm Nick, and I play Chainao Launcher.
How's everyone doing?
So good.
Everyone doing good?
Yeah, excellent.
That's good, guys. I'm out of it today.
Are we laughing because we can tell he's out of it, or?
I was laughing because we were talking so much, and then
all of a sudden
now we have nothing to say.
We're microphone shy as soon as we start recording.
Yeah.
About, the recording starting, and you're like, I have nothing to say.
Here's a piece of banter for you guys. I have been having a lot of fun because so a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, I don't know, a couple episodes ago, we talked about Shang-Chi. And I started listening to the soundtrack like over and over
because it's
a great soundtrack.
Good.
It's fire.
Which has spilled over into me discovering a love of Korean hip hop. And so I've just been listening to so much Korean hip hop recently.
Cool.
Nice.
And I have no idea what they're saying until they start speaking in English randomly and then go back to Korean. And so
it's fine. You can feel it.
Yeah.
Do we have any K-pop fans?
I am not qualified.
I mean, I'm a
This silence right
small hop away, so probably
You're
be there
close.
soon.
You're gonna K-pop.
I don't know if I'm a K-pop
It's just
fan,
downhill
but
from
I
here.
like listening to it every once in a while.
We're going to talk to Johnny next week, and Johnny's just going to be like, I've been doing literally nothing but listening to K-pop since we stopped recording.
Learning the dances.
I went through a phase in college where I was really into like kawaii J-metal, so
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Those are I've never heard that before, but
there's
you
a
have
band
to
called
explain because
there's a
those
Japanese
seem like
band.
diametrically opposed
Yeah.
things.
No, there's a Japanese band called Baby Metal. Go check them out.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Do
and
it.
that gives you all the information you need. It's just these like traditional like kawaii girls singing metal, and
Metal.
it's
It actually sounds
It's a
fantastic.
lot
It's
of
an
fun.
experience.
it's like just if you picture female-led J-pop and death metal, and you mix those together in your head, that's exactly what it is.
I feel like I'm getting a syntax error.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like
It's because it probably doesn't work in your head, but it does work.
Like,
when
I'm sure it
happens.
does. It's like when you go on the internet and you know, like one of those things where you can combine two things and it shows you what those two combined things would look like. There's just like a question mark and error in my head when I try and combine kawaii and metal.
It is possible.
Yeah.
Justin cannot commute.
You've broken my brain. I can't.
Broken my brain.
Abby and I are planning a trip to Japan next summer. So maybe I should start boning up on my J-pop and my kawaii death metal. so
Just
I
in
can
case.
fit in.
Go.
Just in case.
That's
you
kind
know?
of
Maybe I'll go see a show.
that's kind of crazy actually, because we're planning a trip to Japan next year too.
Well, we when?
I mean, Sky, for our honeymoon
Oh,
after the wedding.
yeah. But like when?
So like June, probably like June.
Okay,
Did,
we
did
have
Sky
about-
not tell you that Justin and Abby are going on your honeymoon
Yeah,
with you?
we're
Yeah,
coming.
no, I was not made aware. I've
I've never met
bit of a
Sky, but
surprise.
she's been listening to this. She reached out to me and she's like, "Hey, you want to come to
You
Japan?"
guys should just come.
Honeymoon double dates are only a
Yeah,
good
no, the
idea.
whole cast is actually invited.
I'll be there.
One room.
The only
Whole
the only
cast.
issue is that I'm supposed to like babysit for Justin, so I don't know if I'm supposed to come.
Oh yeah.
We're just
Could
bringing
you
it up.
imagine if you guys show up
can't.
with Rio?
Nope, can't bring Rio.
Abby and Justin would be.
So triggering.
Can't bring.
We
Rio.
came all this way, and you brought him.
That was why. That was why we asked Steve what he's doing next summer, because I let it be known, listeners, I love my son. He's the coolest little dude in the
And I
entire
hope so.
world. But a 4-week trip to Japan and the Philippines with a 4-year-old seems like someone would not be having fun on that trip.
And it would be me.
Someone.
Fair.
It would probably be me. But
You guys would all take turns not having fun. That's the thing.
yeah, but that also means that no one's having fun.
Yeah.
It's like it's the syndrome thing, right?
There's
Like
never
the
gonna be a
Incredible
time
syndrome thing.
where
Like
all
if
of you are having fun.
if everyone's having fun in turns, no one's having fun.
I don't know that
Yeah,
that works exactly the same way.
I feel so unpersuaded right now.
Like they're at a party, everyone seems to be having a great time. Like, hey, you guys gotta calm down. Someone started having a bad time. This is too much.
I still think my analogy stands.
All right.
But if you're at a party and one person at that party is not having a good time quietly in the corner, the party could still be fun for everyone.
It's true. It's a good point.
Or, you know, if everyone's having fun, it doesn't stop it from being fun because everyone, like, it doesn't. It worked when Syndrome did it. Like,
I don't know. I hate it when people around me are having a good time.
yeah, but that's you, man.
That's
just
just
your thing.
you.
I'm the only
Well-
one. I'm the only one who's allowed to be happy to be here.
I mean, I will let you
We
trademark
should
that. That's
designate
fine.
someone to not have. We should designate someone to not have fun this episode, so that way we can make sure that
That can.
everyone's
could be
having
me.
fun. And by everyone's having fun, you're right. This analogy didn't. I lost it.
I'm glad he finally gave
Yeah.
them to us.
It's not there. It's not there.
He was
Hi,
fighting
I'm
for it.
Steve, and I'm not happy to be here.
Well, regardless, I think we'll have some fun tonight. Hopefully, quite a bit of it. We've got a bandit raid on the town of Wanya.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we're doing it.
It's finally here. It's time. You guys have been preparing now for a couple weeks, but it is time for you to put your plan into action. Now, I was doing a little just research and remembering what. So correct me if I've got this wrong. I've got 4 things before we jump into it. I've got 4 things that you guys rolled for and set up as a part of your defenses. You've got the bamboo fence that have sort of armament slots that the villagers can throw things through. You've got Fire Nation uniforms and flags that are particularly believable and intimidating. And we didn't really decide on a number, but I think at least the 5 of you are dressed in uniforms. And it sounds like potentially there might be a few other of the villagers you can set up with uniforms. I don't think you have enough to have everybody in the village, all 120 some people in uniforms, but you can get a number of them to make it look like the Fire Nation is there. You've got some nets with rocks that the villagers can throw at the Fire Nation, and then you've also got the blasting jelly from Che, and you've sort of taught them how to lob flaming fireballs at people as they come in. So it sounds like you've got a pretty decent setup to convince Rohu and his band of raiders that the Fire Nation is in the town of Wanya village. Now, when we left last time, you guys had helped set up these defenses. You had, some poignant moments with Osa and Toka had some conversation. You also were able to have a conversation and talk with Casa, a young sort of thief that lived in Wanya village, but you found out that she lost her parents, and we're trying to find ways to help her and take care of that. And when we left, the sun was setting. You could begin to hear the footsteps and the thundering hoof steps of the ostrich-buffaloes as they rode across the hills and plains towards Wanya village. And that is where we're going to pick up, but I got to ask, where do you guys want to be? You're dressed in your Fire Nation uniforms?
I just want to say right off the bat that there is no version of an ostrich buffalo that does not terrify me. Like, I've tried it a few different ways in my head.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm definitely scared if I can hear those steps already.
What is in your head? Because I know what's in my head.
I think the main one I'm staying with still has the long neck and ostrich head, but all of the buffalo hulkingness and muscle beneath it. And so, like, all of this extra height and neck power and just, like, plowing that head straight through a living soul. That's kind of what I'm picturing in combat.
I love it.
So
It's trying to claim your mortal soul.
I kind of have like an animal generator up sometimes I'll just pick two animals without even thinking, like, how would this work functionally? I'm like, forget that. It's Avatar. Let's just pick two animals. And so when that came up, I'm like, what would be fun to ride? Ostrich buffalo.
Yep.
I don't know how that works, but it does now.
it sure does.
I guess we'll just be standing right at the entrance to the
Yeah,
town. Right?
I'd like to.
In our
I would
Fire
suggest
Nation.
being a little like further out ahead to greet them, just to keep any kind of distance between us and the ruse.
Right, and we'll have all the villagers ready just inside the walls, like we made like stands for them, right? So they could throw stuff over.
Yeah, I want to be up. I'll hang back from the rest of the group and be up on one of like the wall stands at the gate, looking down and out.
Okay.
That's smart.
And they're coming from the south down here.
Cool. South of the Merchant District.
Yes, a little bit outside of the Merchant District. So you guys are, standing somewhere down here, and Osa's behind the wall. Is Liko there as well too? What's Liko doing?
Yeah, I think Lee goes up. I'm trying to think. She's the leader now, right? So shouldn't she be down by the gate?
She can do what she wants.
Yeah, I don't know.
Should Liko be in like the general outfit, just inside of the city, just so that she can stand there menacingly?
I could do
kind
that.
of
Yeah.
off in the distance though, so they don't realize a 17-year-old
Yeah.
girl.
Girls, yeah.
Hey, the Fire Nation
Yeah, I
can.
could do that.
17-year-old
They
girl?
can do what they want, yo.
Okay, so Liko's standing just outside of the gate. Osa's sort of standing behind the gate on one of the parapets. Rosa, Che, and Ren are in Fire Nation uniforms and are some distance away from the south gate, waiting for them to arrive. Is that correct?
Should we leave Liko outside the gate alone?
Well, you guys are
We're outside the
too.
gate.
Oh, we're outside
We're
the
further
gate, too.
outside of the gate.
Okay.
There's like layer 1, and then there's like Liko layer, looking all bad. I mean, looking all
Me
bad.
closest to the gate.
Looking all bad butt. And then behind bad butt Liko is the gate and the peeps, where Osa's at on the gate. So
Oh, I see it.
I can picture it now.
Osa, you're sort of like standing behind the parapet, so you can't be seen with all the other villagers, and they're wearing like these baggy Fire Nation uniforms that like don't quite fit because you guys only had like a day, and they're like sweating, and each of them are like holding a blasting jelly like bomb, and they're just like sweating and looking nervous. Do you do anything?
I'm gonna look at them and just say, it's gonna be okay. You don't need to you don't need to shake. You don't need to be nervous. We're gonna protect you guys. Just be ready if we get the signal to throw those bottles. All right.
Okay. Okay. All right.
All right.
All right.
I promise it's gonna be okay, and I'll make sure those bottles hit.
Okay. All right.
Cut to Che and Ren, and Che's just like, man, those villagers are not going to be okay.
They don't stand a chance, but we do. So
Yeah,
hopefully they can't hear us. We're far out here. So
no, we're a good distance away.
so Che, you're doing all the talking, right?
Yeah, I got you
Good,
guys.
good.
We'll totally handle this.
As you're saying that, you're
Oh,
come over this small hill.
ostrich buffalo.
It's about 20 riders, but then there are probably about 10 or so additional ostrich buffalo that you can see appear to be dragging behind them this giant canvas, and it's covering something so you can't really see what it is.
Oh.
But they're dragging behind them this giant like canvas tarp.
Like a 2 days journey
And they keep
of dragging something huge.
Running, they run towards you, and they stop. There's a leader. There's one out front, and he sort of comes out, and he's younger, not super young. He's probably like 30s something. He's got long brown hair that's like tied into like a top knot on the back of his head. He's got a scar that goes down his face. He sidles up in front of all of his other gang members. Who's this now?
No, please. Please let it be canon, please.
I thought you were going to be stuck with that voice for a whole conversation.
I was building the tension just for that. No, he's like,
He then clears his throat.
sorry, I apologies. I had a fire salamander on the way over here.
Shay just turns to Ren like, is it poisonous? Pretty sure.
Ren just nods curtly.
Looks like looks like the Fire Nation owes me some fish now.
Rosa, give me some fire blast, please.
Rozek, how close are these soldiers to us?
There's a decent distance between you. You're within talking distance, so you're not shouting, but you gotta speak at a higher volume. You're probably 8-10 feet away from each other.
All right. Rozek is gonna kind of hold out his hands and create 2 firewalls protruding outwards from us towards the Fire Nation, just to kind of make like a
V.
Like a V.
Towards the bandits, you mean?
Yeah,
I gotcha.
towards the bandits.
gotcha.
I don't want to hurt them, just like to.
No, I gotcha.
Yeah.
To
spook
wall
'em.
them in.
Yeah, he
gotcha.
he holds up and he
No, I like it.
launches the fire out.
Okay,
Shay's like, nice. All right.
you're trying to spook them.
I'm trying to spook him.
Okay. Why don't you try and intimidate?
All right.
The first roll of the great battle of Waya.
Yeah, and Rozek's gonna say, the Fire Nation owes nothing to anyone. And
Let's
as
actually
he-
do this first.
Yes.
Let's get a couple rolls. So first off, your Fire Nation uniforms. Let's roll to see how effective they are. So
Roll to
there's
trick them?
that move that we created called triggered defenses. So I need either Rozek, Ren, or Che to roll that.
Who's
Well,
feeling
what is the stat?
Focus.
I have -1 focus. Meta. I vote not me.
it? Okay, I have +2. I think I'm gonna roll. Well, I'm gonna roll focus.
You got this.
The Launcher brothers both have +2 in focus.
Ooh. Look at
Alright,
y'all being so
so-
focused.
Well, you're about to do your fire trick, so I'm gonna steal this roll. No, still 9 because it +2. Forgot.
Okay. On a 9, it's a partial success. So it does what you intend it to, and it affects not all of them. It affects probably a small group of them. They believe you, but there are probably about 5 or so of them that look like they are sweating. They're like, I did not sign up to attack the Fire Nation.
Yes.
So that is 5 people who are intimidated.
That's something.
And then why don't you give me your intimidate too?
And I don't know if you hear that, but Rozek's just gonna, as he shoots out the fire, he's gonna yell out and say, the Fire Nation owes nothing to anyone. And roll. Ooh. 8 on the dice +1 for passions. That's a 9.
Those are some
Nice.
crunchy
Okay.
dice.
Rolling with the 9s, yeah.
On a 9, they choose 1, and I get to choose.
Make them run away.
Yes. Yes. Yes, please. We came all this way with these enormous creatures and we're going to turn around.
Che also wants to say something when you're ready.
You see Rohu gets off of his ostrich-buffalo. Standing next to it, though, he's got his hand on it, and he says, all right, boys, settle down for just a moment. We're going to have a friendly chat with the Fire Nation.
And Che's going to cut in. We heard him say that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He said that loud enough for us. All right, so now Che will say to him, the Fire Nation doesn't need to talk to anyone like you. The Fire Nation controls this town now. You have no right to be here. Leave immediately.
Yeah, see, so that's not going to work. And I get it. I get it. What's your name? You look kind of young.
Che,
Che. Sure you know my name by now. I'm Rohu.
is that your name?
Yeah, what did you think it was?
I honestly, at this point, there were so many names thrown around. I'm really
We-
not. I think it was like Roju
We heard a
at
lot
one
of
point,
names.
or
Yeah,
like
we heard a lot of
Oju.
names.
Yeah, there's like Tofu was thrown around at one point. I don't. It's very confusing.
Did you guys get my name wrong
Could have
again?
been your guys.
No, boss. No, not us.
I mean, we heard it from them, so like it was probably one of them.
All right, well, we're going to have a talk about that later.
It's fine.
Look, I get it. All right? I get the whole taking over a town thing that you guys have been doing. At least that I've been hearing about you guys doing. I had a standing agreement with Wanya Village. I'm willing to take the fish that they owed me from a couple days ago before you guys were here. I know that. My friends said no one else was here in the Fire Nation. So I get my fish. We'll leave Wanya alone.
Well, to feed the troops that we moved into this village, we ate a lot of the fish that they had. So I don't know what we're gonna do now. I don't know how we resolve that one.
I'm gonna whisper to the villagers that I'm with behind the wall, like, "Hey, get ready to throw."
Well, look, I mean, it's kind of a simple solution, right? Like, just make the villagers fish. You know, and I don't know if we need to be this sort of macho, standing up to one another thing. Like, hey, I got nothing against you. Maybe we can work something out.
Yeah, I feel like there's been a miscommunication here. Let me just clear this up. So, I'm just a soldier, man. I just work here. You know, the general's back in the village. Probably see him standing over there. And we're the Fire Nation, right? So we're a whole army, and you're just a bunch of punks. There's no. We're not on equal terms. Like I don't have any problems with you personally, because I'm just a soldier. Just reminding you. But you're just a gang, and this is an entire army. You see where I'm like you're at, I feel like you think you're at an equivalent level, but we're just not there. That's not actually what's happening.
I mean, I see 4, so like, you're not an army?
All right.
Warn him of the wrath
Rozak, why don't
of
you?
the Fire Nation, Shay.
Che will just shout out firebenders, which we'll say was the pre-agreed upon.
Yes, it was.
Retcon.
Retcon. Yes, it was. Of course.
Yeah, I'll go now.
Okay.
After he yells that.
So
And
why
then-
don't you roll triggered defenses?
And that was with focus, right?
That is with focus, yes. Partial success. Okay. On a hit, your defenses do what you intend them to do, affecting a small group of enemies. So what is your intent? Is it just to scare them some more, or are you intending to...
So I was thinking that we would just scare them some more, but I was hoping, and maybe this doesn't happen with that particular roll, but I wanted to kind of use my airbending and as subtly as I can, recognizing that this is probably going to be a visible motion, direct one of the bottles to hit his ostrich-buffalo, Rohu's ostrich-buffalo.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a fighting move.
It is.
I wish I could read Osa's mind and telepathically say, stop it. But I can't.
Why don't you roll
But alas,
to
you cannot.
push your luck?
Okay.
That's definitely what he's doing.
You rolled a 9, which is a partial success. So on a hit, you do it. In this case, you hit his ostrich buffalo with one of the fireballs, but it costs you to scrape by it, and I get to tell you what that cost is. So the villagers start lobbing over the parapet and the wall these flaming fire jelly balls. They start hitting the ground, and you see five more of these bandits start to cower, and then one of the fireballs looks like it's going to go past everyone, and then you all see this like gust of wind kick up, almost like a tornado, and it brings it down onto Rohu's ostrich buffalo, and the ostrich buffalo starts charging towards the wall.
Oh no.
Just spooked him, and it charges into the wall.
Is it on fire?
It
Probably wouldn't just immediately.
no, I don't think it would just burn. I don't think ostrich buffaloes are that flammable.
Well, if it's more ostrich than buffalo, I was just kind of picturing feathers. I don't know.
I'm not saying I want it to be on fire, but considering it was essentially a Molotov cocktail,
yeah.
it may have fire
I
on
think
it.
yeah, I think that's fun. I think it's just a flaming ostrich.
Just a little bit of fire on
that
there.
is just charging
man.
towards the wall, and it like lowers its horns and just charges into the wall. Can I have? Let's see.
Can I try to divert it?
Oh, yeah,
Mm.
absolutely, you can.
So I'm gonna take one that I had prepared for myself and launch it like a fire blast towards the front of it to like cut it off and explode in front of it so it changes direction. Maybe like sort of favor it to one side so that it turns away from the village and like off into the trees.
Just let
or
it go
something.
burn the woods down. Yeah, that's way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got one priority right now. One problem at a time.
Why don't you push your luck as well?
It feels like it.
Can you redirect the flaming ostrich bison?
Yes, 10.
Oh,
Okay.
Ooh.
On a 10, you do it. Your boldness pays off despite the cost. And the GM tells you what other lucky opportunity falls in your lap.
yo, that thing's gonna run and set some stuff on fire.
What is my other
Prayers
opportunity?
for other ostrich buffalo catching fire.
What is your other
Oh,
opportunity?
that happened to me once in Red Dead Redemption 2. I lit somebody's horse on fire. I lit somebody's horse on fire with a Molotov cocktail, and then their horse ran into mine, and my horse caught on fire.
I didn't know that was possible.
Anything's
All right,
possible in that game.
You throw up a quick, like, fireball, earth ball, and it explodes in front of this ostrich buffalo, and it turns. At first, you think it's actually going to turn and hit Liko, but it keeps charging past Liko and into the farmlands, and it's like on fire now. So it ends up just running around in circles and ends up charging back towards Rohu, and
Very nice.
it knocks him down onto the ground.
Oh.
What happens now?
Is this our chance?
Is this
Is this our moment?
So you're saying there's a
we
chance?
no.
He's down.
Do we just
Did
go?
we just win?
That's it.
We
He's
won!
dead. He's gored on the ostrich buffalo. You've saved Wanya village.
We did
We
it.
did it. We did it, guys.
How many of his band of slimy jerks are left?
Yeah. So I was about to get to that. So here's what happens. He gets knocked down and he is stunned as he just got knocked over by his ostrich buffalo. So Rohu is stunned, and you see at this point that 10 of the bandits get on their ostrich buffaloes and start hightailing it out of there. So now there are 10 left.
Look to your comrades. Any of you who leave now won't have any trouble from us. But anybody who stays, we're gonna have to start capturing.
And Rozak is just gonna shoot 2 massive flamethrowers into the air and start screaming.
Perfect.
I'm picturing the flying, flapping, flaming, inflatable tube man.
Wacky label arm waving tube man.
Even stunned, Rohu is able to. He can't get into a fighting stance, but he says, "Take them out." And the other 10 bandits jump off of their ostrich buffaloes
Dang.
and get into a fighting stance. We are going to hop into an exchange.
It's happening.
It is happening.
So many more people than I wanted there to be.
We've lucked out so far.
Alright, this is 11
You know.
guys. It's 3 first 11.
Scaring
That's
off
not bad.
10. That's good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. We'll see how long the Fire Nation illusion can
I'm just
kept up.
picturing Liko trying to like keep her chill back there while this happens. How you doing back there, Liko?
Freaking out.
Like,
Like
what's
trying to keep it
happening?
together.
What's happening out there?
I can't believe I decided to stay back.
I am a Fire Nation general. I am a Fire Nation general. I'm
My God.
So
Yeah, exactly.
on that, it is. I will remind people, as we're going into combat, you guys are going to pick one of the 3 approaches, and then that will determine what techniques you can use. Just to set the scene a little bit again, you guys are, the 3 of you, Rozak, Che, and Ren, are still probably about 8 to 10 feet away from Rohu. Lee goes even further than that, and Osa is behind the parapet with the other villagers. So you guys can decide what approaches you want to do. We'll decide for my dudes.
And these are ordered by, if you choose defend and maneuver, that typically goes first. I forget. I'm sorry.
Correct. Defend and maneuver goes first.
Then advance and
And then
attack.
advance and attack.
And then evade and observe.
I'm gonna take advance and attack.
I'm going to take evade and observe.
Can do advance and attack.
Yeah, so just remember, like, if you want to get into, like, combat with someone, like, up in their face, you got to take defend and maneuver in order to seize a position. What about the rest of you? Liko, what?
Well, I mean, like, she's not near the 3 guys, so I think that she would trust them to do whatever they feel is going to keep them safe, but also keep us safe up front. So I think she would probably try to reach out to Osa because he's the closest one to her.
Okay.
And then at least we could figure out what to do in reaction to what the guys in the front do.
Okay. So maybe evade and observe for now.
Yeah.
Rozak, you're the last one.
I know, I'm... So right now I'm screaming and launching flamethrowers into the air.
That is an important job if you want to just keep doing that.
I mean,
I think I want to defend a maneuver. Do I have to choose which technique right now?
When you roll, but you are up first.
When I roll. Alright, yeah. I will do defend
So
and
we
maneuver.
do defend and maneuver first,
Alright.
which means Danny rolls with focus. Or sorry, Rozak rolls with focus.
Who's Danny? Okay, roll of focus. 8.
Okay, you get to pick one technique.
I think I am going to... So I think I want to divert. And I don't know how I can flavor this correctly, but I think I want to... So I want to, like, as my flamethrowers are, like, being launched into the air, I want to bring them down as, like, fire whips. And, like, kind of like the same V formation I was just doing, but in an effort to try to funnel them in towards me. So they're kind of like, what's the word? So the ostrich-buffalo are forced to...
Like a choke point.
The choke point, yes, choke point. I want to try to force them into a choke point with my firewalls.
Okay. And that choke point would go towards you, essentially?
Well, yeah, I guess I'd be at the point of it.
Yeah, because, divert is... The mechanical text is that you step in the way of attacks meant for other people.
Mm-hmm.
So you take hits instead of others.
Yeah.
So you're essentially like...
By directing
if
ostriches
someone-
to himself.
Yeah.
I'm directing
Okay.
ostriches to myself.
That is
Okay.
very brave or dumb.
We'll see. We shall see.
Okay. All right. And it is an ally within reach, too. So it would be just Che and Ren at this point. But that brings us to advance and attack. Both Osa and Che have chosen that. So who wants to go
All right.
first?
That's up to you.
I mean, I have a good idea of what I want to do. If you don't mind me going first.
No, go for it.
Cool. All right, I roll with passion, right?
Correct. Osa, you've rolled a 3. So that is a miss.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you've got something to take care of that, huh?
Yep. So I have fueled by anger as a playbook move. So even on a miss, I get to choose a technique that I want to use in advance and attack. And so I am going to pressure. So what I want to do is take one of the Molotovs that we've got and throw it down, and then create like a whirlwind of air and catch the flame and like feed it, and so try and make it into like a fire tornado, kind of doing the same sort of thing that Che does with his fake fire bending. I'm trying to make like a fire tornado that I'm going to send down the lane that Danny created, that Rosa created rather,
Okay. I
to try
like
and
that.
intimidate these guys.
That's so cool.
We're the
I love
best.
that. That's
We're the
very
best
fun.
benders.
Why don't you...
We're the best firebenders, and we're not even firebenders.
We're all
You guys are doing a good
firebenders.
job.
We're all
Why
firebenders
don't you
here.
mark angry,
Mm-hmm.
and you can choose an approach that they cannot take in the next exchange.
So I'm going to say that they can't. I'm going to say they can't defend and maneuver.
Okay. And there's sort of two people. There's Rohu, and then there's the bandits. So the bandits and the
Yeah,
ostrich
I'm aiming for the bandits.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Che.
Me. Yes. So are they all still mounted?
They have gotten off.
Oh, so all of their ostrich buffalo are they're like just off of them,
Yes.
and all of the buffalo are just kind of standing there. Ostrich buffalo.
Yeah, I mean, they're right next to them.
Cool. I'm going to do what I just did and redirect all of like the ostrich buffalo, but all of them at once. I'm going to lob another explosion like behind the buffalo, which I assume are behind the bandits, and get them to all charge forward, or try to get them to all charge forward.
Okay.
So that'll be a smash because I'm trying to destabilize something in the environment. So I'm trying to destabilize.
I dig that. That makes sense to me.
I rolled with passion, right?
Yeah.
That is a 10.
Okay, so you can actually pick 2 techniques.
Okay, so I'll do that, and I will also pressure. I'll take a more like widespread kind of like explosive or device out of my all of the various places I keep my devices, and I will launch these ones in front of the bandits to create like little pools of fire in front, like little puddles of fire in front of them, to sort of like dissuade them from advancing. So I'm going to pressure them.
Okay.
So intimidate.
Yep.
Impressor.
What can they not do?
We said they couldn't defend
And maneuver, correct.
and maneuver. I would like for them to not be able to advance and attack either.
Okay. And one of the things too, this is our second combat, so we're all learning. We're figuring it out. All of these sort of conditions and fatigue and status things happen at the end of this exchange. So they take place at the beginning of the next exchange, essentially. All right, so this fire tornado starts screaming towards them, and it catches them off guard, so they sort of lose their positioning for a moment. And at the same time, these fireballs start going off behind the ostrich buffaloes, scaring them. The ostrich buffaloes start charging towards Wanya village. That's what you wanted to do with them, right?
Yeah, I just realized that might not have been the best
That's what
long-term plan,
happens.
but short-term, this is going to be great.
Well, and it's also funny too because as they're charging, Rosic has also set up a funnel to funnel the ostrich buffaloes towards him.
Oops.
This is fun, guys.
I
This
love
is- I'm just
I
happy
love
to
the
be here.
plan. Yeah.
This is going great. But the
oh, man.
the bandits they're sort of off kilter. They can't really move forward and they can't really defend. And they'll be impaired for the next exchange.
Nice.
But let's also figure out what happens to Danny. Well, let's do this actually. We'll do the end of this exchange, and then we'll figure out what happens with those. It is the bandits' turn, and I should mention too. Like we've talked about combat before. This is all happening at the same sort of fluid moment, right? So they're doing something while this fire tornado and these fire rocks are coming towards you. But they are going to. You see the 10 bandits. They sort of take a wide stance, and you see that the tarps that were in those like 5 ostrich buffaloes in the back, they start lifting, and these giant, like catapult-sized rocks start flying towards the village of Wanya.
Oh no.
And the wall, Liko, you're sort of standing there, and you've seen what happens. It's like a few seconds this has happened, but you look up, you see these giant rocks in the air just flying towards you, and they don't hit you, but they hit around you, and the wall, they hit the wall. Johnny, not you, but you can see like on the other side of the entrance, it hits the wall, and it hits some of the villagers, and they get thrown back into the building, and they're sort of on the ground, but like the wall is coming down on the south side here. Johnny, there is a rock that hits, like you see this, and just in time you look up to see one of these boulders barreling towards you on your side of the village, and it hits your side. And thankfully the villagers are a little bit further away, so they don't get thrown. The wall collapses, they don't get thrown or hit, but you get hit. And why don't you mark guilty, as you've just seen some of these villagers that you've been standing with get massively hurt.
Yeah, who I literally just told I wouldn't let anything happen to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and mark guilty.
Got it.
Always a good hero move.
and-
Nothing will happen to you, I promise.
For those listening to, if you're like, you can't do all those things, this is a move I've created for these bandits. So that is why they're able to do that. It is specifically.
There's also 10 of them.
There's also
He
10 of
can
them,
do all these
and
things.
They just catapulted a bunch of like trebuchet-sized rocks at Wanya village. So, all right.
So the wall's
with
destroyed
that-
now?
At least on the south side, down here on the
Okay.
south side. The defend and maneuver, evade and observe. So Ren and Liko, what do you want to do?
It's all you, Liko.
So you're gonna roll with creativity or harmony. Nice. On an 8, you get to pick one technique. So break, commit, or bolster, or hinder.
I think she's going to bolster of hinder. think she's gonna aid somebody nearby.
Okay. All right. What does Liko do to aid?
That's so. Can you just give like a summary of what happened again? Like the south side of the wall has collapsed. People have gone hurt. Osa is fine. He was
a hit with one of the rocks. So you
Okay.
haven't seen him.
but he is nearby, right? He's like just on the other side of that wall.
He's just on the other side of that wall. Yeah.
All right, so I mean, I gotta go for my boy, so I'm gonna help. I'm gonna look for him, make sure he's okay.
Okay. So Liko goes running towards, and you find Osa, and he's like stunned under some rubble, like catching it. You can see his eyes are trying to adjust to what just happened, and he like looks up. Osa, you see Liko standing over you. What do you?
The villagers are. What happened to the villagers? I told them I'd protect them. What?
I think Liko is gonna try to avoid the question and try to get him up and moving.
Okay.
I don't think she would say much. I think
Yeah.
she'd just try to get him up.
Yeah.
And I think Osa would just kind of follow whatever guidance she's offering and just not offer any resistance. Just go along with her.
All right. Why don't we say this then? We'll say that Osa's prepared in the next exchange.
Nice.
So where you were sort of stunned and under rubble, Liko has aided you and has got you out of that situation. All right, Ren.
Thanks, Liko.
No problem. I had to sneeze, but it wouldn't come out. It's all that ash and the
All
dust.
the charcoal dust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've just watched Che. What did you do, Che? You attacked.
I did, yes.
And you did it with these
I
pools of like
Made some explosions.
fire that weren't even at
Yeah, there's,
between
like-
us and the people to impede them from advancing. But you didn't hit
Right, yeah.
anybody yet?
No, unless the ostrich-buffalo hit somebody. I didn't hit anybody directly.
Okay. I was thinking I would try to favor to bolster Che. But I think if I've had the privilege of seeing a little bit of this first, I would actually use bolster and hinder on the trap side of things to try to hinder Rohu since he's already stunned, and I don't want to see what he's like when he's not stunned.
Fair.
So I'll roll that.
Okay. So how does Ren hinder?
Do I roll first or no?
Yeah, roll first.
Okay.
Yeah. So roll creativity or harmony.
Alrighty, here comes the harmony, everybody. Peace. Success. 10.
Oh, you rolled twice.
Oh.
Actually, the first was
Oh, shoot. Double clicked. Yep, we'll have to take the bad one then.
Oh, no.
Complications.
Yep.
I just thought it lagged, but it's all good.
Here we go.
When in doubt,
Well,
everybody, just click roll again
it did
really
not-
quick.
All right, so here's what we're going to do until I figure it out. It used to be that you marked one fatigue in order to still use the technique. The last time we rolled it, that you actually shift your balance and you can still do a technique. So why don't you do that? Why don't you tell me like what's going through Ren's head in this moment that he would shift one of his principles up and one down?
I think I would be less towards forgiveness and more towards action right now, for sure.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Just kind of trying to assess the threat and seeing the immediate damage done to the wall.
Perfect. So shift that balance, the principle up. You can use bolster or hinder.
Boom. I'm more actiony now. Take that, Rohu.
All right. How does Ren hinder him though? You gotta tell me what he does. Remember, you're further away too.
Yeah. I mean, I was in the closest cluster, but I was right there with Che. But
You're still within talking distance,
Yeah.
so you're not like quite.
I think I'm gonna straight up throw my new fan because this dude's like, I don't know, is he on his knees still or on his butt?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm just gonna throw that fan straight at his head and hope that it knocks him out. It's a metal fan,
Oh. Okay.
I know
Yeah.
that's an attack. I don't know if that works under this,
I get it.
but I'm trying to
So, I mean,
impede
in
him.
this case, exactly. It wouldn't like damage him. He wouldn't like a condition.
Right, I'm just trying to knock the dude out.
All right, so here's what happens. This is the end of this exchange as well too, so you guys can decide if you want to go into another exchange or if you want to. He's stunned, so he's completely caught off guard and can't respond at all. Your fan like hits him in the head, and then it like slides down and pins his like shirt to the ground, so he's trapped there. completely stunned and unconscious.
Good day. Good day. What are my complications? This sounds great.
Well, no, the complication was you had to shift
Ah, cool.
in order to use that technique.
Cool.
Yep. So everything is all good.
Che is a little awestruck.
I was just waiting for the bad news. Like, you pin him down with the fan, but your aunt calls and she's not feeling well. You know?
You gotta come home, Red.
Just waiting for that shoe to drop.
Nana's sick.
I don't like Nana, but I'll come.
All right. What do you guys want to do? It's we can go into another exchange. We can.
Aren't the soldiers in ostrich-buffalo still like charging towards us?
Oh yeah. I would say that is what we in the GM business call a golden opportunity.
Oh man.
So what happens is Che has kicked off these ostrich buffalo and they're charging towards Wanya village, and Rozek sees this and throws up a wall of fire to sort of divert them towards him instead. But it's too late. Like, he doesn't have enough time to divert them away from himself too. It's like they're barreling straight towards Rozek. Rozek's a big boy, but you sort of like catch the first one. It sort of catches you, and then the other ones start charging into that back one, and you're like now pushing against all of these ostrich buffalo. I want you to mark 2 fatigue, actually.
For whatever it's worth, I did also say that my fire tornado was going down that bottleneck that he created.
In terms of like it all happening at the same time, yeah, if you wanted to, it can hit him in the back, I guess.
Well, I was just thinking it would separate them from him. They would have to go through the tornado to get to Rosa.
You did say that.
I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, no, you did say that. That you were waiting to throw it right in front of Rozek. All right, I will not be mean GM. I will take off the mean GM hat.
Is this technically also the next exchange, or is this just something that's happening?
No,
This is
this
in
is like
between
the results.
Yeah,
the results
there
of
was
the exchange.
some post-exchange stuff we needed to figure out.
For sure.
All right, Oza, you win this round.
You win this time.
Rozek, unmark
Osa
that.
always wins.
Unmark that fatigue as the Rozek throws up this funnel, and they're about to charge and hit you when all of a sudden, from up in the air, this fire tornado touches down and starts going back towards the ostrich buffaloes, and they like spread out and like go. It's like that scene, right? Like where like the ostrich buffalo split right around Rozek and go around him. They're not going towards Wanya village anymore. They're going both left and right.
That's ideal.
That really is ideal.
That's ideal. All right, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to go into another exchange? You want to?
I'm feeling
Well, now
kind
we
of
just have the
newbie.
soldiers
Like,
to deal with, right?
like what is the true alternative to another exchange right now? Like, I tried to use a non-combat move to like go for diplomacy, make some peace.
Yeah, or just scare him off.
If you want to say something
intimidate.
or try and do something that's not combat-y, absolutely.
I'd say
yeah.
that right away to Che if I could.
Yeah.
Go
if we
ahead.
do go into another exchange, they're forced to only evade and observe.
That's
Because we
Ooh.
pressured them twice.
They're also impaired right now.
And the leader is stunned
think we
and
do.
possibly unconscious.
Yeah,
They are
the-
impaired. Yep.
They're impaired, and and Rohu's unconscious.
Well, we already got him on the ropes. Maybe this is the time to scare the rest of them away.
I think I would still lean in to Che and just be like, let's just plead one more time for their sake. And I wink.
Che will once again like throw up his arms and be like, "Hey, again, you can all leave. You can go, and you won't have any more trouble from us. But if you stay, you will be arrested by the Fire Nation and spend the rest of your days in one of our coal mines."
All right,
I lean
why
in, I'm
don't
like,
you-
nice touch.
Thank you.
It's probably more of an intimidate than a plead. Why don't you intimidate them?
8.
All right. On an 8, they get to choose one. They pick up. They get on their ostrich, or they run to their ostrich buffaloes. No, they're running away.
Nice.
All the bandits look at you, look at Rohu unconscious on the ground, and they say, "We didn't sign up for this.
No, you did not.
We're out of here." And they just book it. The last 10 of them just book it.
Do they bring their
As
boy
they
or
run
do they
away.
leave Rohu?
Please tell me they left.
I think they
Rohu.
leave Rohu. Yeah, I think they're so
Perfect.
like out of it that they
So as they run away, Rozek says, "We're the Fire Nation, and you're gonna have to deal with it."
Why?
To us or to them?
I think to everyone in general.
He says it into the air. He looks
He
up
just
and
says
says
into
it.
the ether.
May this
Can you then do like a dragon's breath blast?
may
out of
the
your mouth?
For
spirits
the
hear
first
me.
time, the very first time Rozak ever does Dragon's Breath is...
That was I guess he has his heart is in the right place. I guess.
I think we should run over to Rohu.
We should probably get him tied up, right?
Yeah.
Che is gonna whisper like enough that you can both hear him pretty clearly. He's like, perfect victory. and, then he's like, he just kind of like a small fist bump to himself.
Ren
Everything went
immediately
exactly as planned.
starts to reach for a rope on his person and starts to approach, hopefully still unconscious Rohu, and tie him up.
Yeah, we'll approach cautiously.
He does appear to be unconscious.
I get
I
out
think
the
we'll-
rope and try to tie his hands
I'm
behind his
guessing all
back.
three of us. Yeah, go and. I'm guessing Che and Rozak follow Ren as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to make you roll. I think you can do that.
Nice. I tie it as tight as I can.
Type his feet too,
Makes sense.
and then tie his hands and feet together behind his back.
I'm,
He's an earthbender. What do you want from
I'm
me?
running out of rope.
Right
Like hog
index
tying.
finger to the left pinky finger.
We can't give him any leeway. All right, that's what I'm saying.
All right, I'll tie as much as I can. I tie a very elaborate web of ties.
It sounds like you're hog.
He's
tying,
barely-
though.
We're
He's-
100% hog tying him.
He
We're
is-
definitely hog
He is so enveloped in rope that he's barely recognizable.
We can't even see him.
Man, I didn't think we had that much rope.
I don't
but
know.
I guess between us,
I
we
just felt so encouraged
Where's
to do
this
this. I don't know. It's just.
It just kept coming. You just kept pulling at the rope. It just kept coming. And
Is this from Casa? Is this like a
had
magical
enough
rope?
of, yeah, I don't know. Anyways, we should probably take him to like the second floor of the inn so he's not near Earth or anything. Oh, I will also search his person for weapons before we completely cocoon him, so that he can't just like cut
Sounds
himself
good.
out
Yeah.
because we didn't look.
He does.
For a
He does
knife
not
or
have
anything?
any weapons on him.
Okay, cool.
I'm kind of ignoring all of this, and I'm just going to the villagers, in particular the ones who are on the wall with me, but really any villagers I see, and I want to check on them. I want to see if they're okay.
You see, you can hear that the fighting has stopped outside of the wall, so you've got a moment to like check on those, especially those ones that were hit. And you're looking in the rubble, and you're pulling, some of the fence away. A couple of the stones broke and into a few pieces and are covering some of the villagers, and you're trying to blow some of them away with your air and pull some of them away as fast as you can. And you see a small hand under one of the big stones.
No, I'm gonna try and like just push the stone off, to like move it,
Yeah.
if I can.
Shove it off, and there is an unconscious Casa.
I'm gonna try and like shake her awake, see if I can rouse her at all.
Yeah, you're shaking her, and her eyes don't open, but you can, you like maybe put your ear to her chest, and you can feel her heart beating faintly.
Okay, I'm gonna just pick her up. Like at this point, like nothing exists around me really. I'm gonna pick her up and just I'm gonna help you. I promise. I promise. And I'm gonna start running to the blind Unagi
Okay.
with her.
Yeah, you get there, and the door just flies open from you, like air blasting it. And thankfully, Toko is there, and he says, "Whoa, what happened?"
Casa, she got hurt. It's my fault. I told them that they'd be safe, and she got hurt because she listened to me. And do you know anyone who knows how to heal people here?
I mean, I know a little bit about healing, but I can do what I can. She's not in a good spot though.
Yeah, here. I'm gonna like lay her down on the counter and do what you can. I need to go make sure my friends are okay. But do what you can. And I'm gonna kind of reach into my robes and take the flute that I carry around out and like put it in Casa's hand and kind of like fold her hand over it and then run out back towards the crew.
There's like definitely a shot of like a zoom in of her like unconscious holding the flute. And Osa runs towards the door, and it actually swings back open towards you. And you see your you see the other 4 of them carrying Rohu into the blind Dunagi.
Yeah, and Che is riding high right now. He's like, perfect victory. We're doing great. And then he steps in and he sees Casa on the table and he's like, oh, no.
Yeah, my face is just dirt and streaks, like tears. I'm definitely like,
What happened?
the rock that hit the western side of the wall. She was mostly under it.
I didn't think I should catch him because I thought I would give away the...
It's not your fault, Che. I told them to stay. I told them to be safe.
Right. Well, Liko, you know waterbending, right?
Yeah,
Do you know any healing techniques? I know that's a different style. I don't know.
I don't think so. Nothing like that.
Okay. Do we know any healers nearby
There might be some.
in Foggy Swamp?
Yeah, but I haven't been there in such a long time. I wouldn't know where to start, and
Right.
I think we're playing against time right now.
I mean, I can
Toko, how bad is she?
do my best
Well.
to keep her alive until you come back and find someone.
Did you need anything?
I've got a few supplies here.
Justin, just so that we're clear, Liko doesn't have that kind of healing power, right?
I mean, I think at this point she hasn't figured out the healing part of waterbending.
Okay.
But
Just
that's
want to make
definitely
sure.
something you could, try and find someone to teach you.
Yeah.
Well,
Out of character for a second, giving her the flute, I am attempting to make a quote unquote personal sacrifice to clear my guilty condition.
I think that's definitely a personal sacrifice for sure. This is your only connection to your sister.
Cool.
what sister?
Yeah, we're all like, oh, sister?
No, we're all like, oh, flute.
Oh, oh, sister?
The flute, like I went and blew her door in for.
Yeah, next day, you can have
Yeah,
this.
that's right.
Justin, is there anything still on fire outside?
Good question.
No, because most of the fire was set up like outside of the village. So it's, I mean, you
Okay.
you have to pick up some pretty serious rubble from those giant boulders.
Che will help with that.
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll like as best we can, like maybe even like suspend the dude from like the rafters on like the second floor, just so that he's really not in contact with like any like earth or even like secondary contact
Yeah.
with earth through the wood. Just
It's-
very separate.
But it's interesting to walk in on.
Just a guy
He's just-
cocooned in rope hanging from the ceiling.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, I'll volunteer to, at least for now, be on like guard duty with him, and I want to try, if it's not too far, a thing that happens in, I think it was in Last Airbender, but it might have been Legend of Korra, but just like imprison him in a big pocket of air and just like sit in a meditative position and focus on holding him inside of that.
I like that.
Wow, that's super cool.
That is super cool. I mean, he's tied up, so I'm not going to make you roll for that. I think if that was the only thing that was you were doing, I would probably make you roll. But yeah, you can. I think you can do that.
Cool.
Justin,
Mhm.
where's my dragon?
Yeah, Justin, where did you
I'm
put
sorry,
it?
Oh, yeah,
Where'd you put Rue?
The village, right?
Yeah,
I thought
like
I left
she's
it-
is she.
I just left it parked out. Out back there.
Parked on the north side of town.
No, I mean, I'm assuming Rue was not
She's
brought
fine,
into
though.
it. So I'm assuming Rue's just sort of curled up.
So we can use Rue to help pull out the rubble, right?
Absolutely, you can.
Yeah, Che will go with you and Rue to dig out the rest of the town.
Absolutely. I think
Okay.
you've got to move for that too.
Me?
Che.
Yeah,
Che.
yip.
Okay.
It's only for combat. You know what though?
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna play around with it because you guys are intentionally using Rue to help with this. Why don't you? So Liko and Che, I don't know if you have conditions marked. Liko, I don't think does, but does Che have any conditions marked?
No.
Okay, then it doesn't matter. I was gonna say you guys could unmark conditions, but
I actually wanted to mark a
you
condition.
can mark a condition, sure, yeah. Just so angry Rue's helping us.
No. So Che was like, he was very much at a high.
Mhm.
Like after that, it was a perfect, in his mind, it was a perfect victory. And then he came into the inn and it was just like, oh no, it was not. It was not at all. I'm a fool. I am stupid for even thinking that. He's going to be really guilty. So I'm going to mark that condition just from the situation that happened to him.
So that would actually trigger a move from Rosa, because it says whenever your ward marks a condition in front of you, I have to mark fatigue or mark a condition.
Dang.
So yeah, you see like Shay like see the situation and just kind of get all like a second ago he had been like smiling and like laughing and feeling all proud of himself, and then just crestfallen, just like broken by the situation.
So what goes through Rozek's head?
Rozek is obviously also very caught off guard because he thought everything went well until, the rest of the group found Casa. I don't know if there's a condition that applies to him currently though. Should I just mark fatigue?
Yeah, I mean it's your choice.
You said, Nick, you said Shay now marked foolish.
No, guilty.
Guilty.
You could, off the top of my head, foolish, right? Like maybe you feel like you let Shay get too excited.
Yeah.
Right? You didn't protect him enough from like the real atrocities that can happen in this sort of thing.
Maybe foolish or insecure.
Or insecure, yep.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna mark insecure. Well,
that's good.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark insecure.
I think we see like a bunch of shots of Liko and Rue and Shay digging, other people out of the rubble, and thankfully Casa seems to be the only one that was really hurt by this. Like you see a few of the younger like fathers and men of the village who were also there, and they're hurt, they're scratched up, they have a broken arm or something, but nothing as bad as Casa. But with a little bit of time, we see a bunch of scenes of you guys like getting all the rubble out and people hobbling off to their homes. But thankfully you've defended Wanya village. For how long? Will the bandits come back? Maybe. But you've got their leader now, so there's potential that it might be a more permanent thing. I think that's probably a decent place to end this session with those scenes of you guys sort of helping the village to come back from this, and they're hardy, right? They're going to come back from this. But what do you do with Rohu? How do you heal Casa? Do you heal Casa? Do you trust that Toko can take care of her, or do you go to the Foggy Swamp and find a more accomplished water healer? That is what we will have to figure out next week. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Flying Bison podcast. We're so happy you're here. We're so happy that they got Rohu and defended Wanya village. If you're enjoying what you're listening, please give us a rating and review wherever you're listening to podcasts. It's one of the best ways for us to get in sort of people's faces. And if you like it, tell a friend as well too. But yeah, definitely give us a review for sure. I also, if you do give us a 5-star review, Nick will follow you around all day and say things like, "What you're doing with your hair today is really working for you." And definitely he'll throw in a few "Yas, queens." So 5-star review, Nick will follow you around all day and do that. All right, everybody, we'll see you next week.
Perfect victory.
Bye.
Bye guys.
See ya.
Avatar Legends was developed and produced by Magpie Games. The worlds of Avatar The Last Airbender and Avatar The Legend of Korra are property of Viacom CBS. Intro music is Dizu by Sendai. Outro music is Tokyo Funk by LATG Music. Logo and art by Kate and Matthew Menke. You can find more of their work at pomakin.com, link in the show notes.